Linda DeMirali, who will be followed by Marissa Ringel, then Paul Greenan, and Hector Morena. Thank you, ma'am. Did you submit written testimony?
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. $80,000 is what my ex-husband and I were forced to pay our guardian, Attorney Haley Veller. We are middle class. We had to sell our home, go through our savings, take out loans to pay for the GAL and also our attorneys. Why are we being legally forced to provide a living for these GAL attorneys? We have no rights, and the GAL has complete immunity with no oversight. My daughter is now a sophomore in high school. I have saved nothing for college. A GAL can bill, and there is no one to complain to. And actually, the parties are afraid to complain because the GAL has ultimate power. Look at the bills and see how many times my GAL indicates telephone calls or review of file, review of emails, etc. You have no idea who she's calling or what is she reviewing. That is known as padding the bill. Why was our guardian filing protective orders, motions to produce, claiming attorney work product privilege? This is not how a guardian should behave. But this is exactly how an attorney behaves, looking out for the best interests of her wallet. The court also ordered our children to see Dr. Sidney Horowitz, who's typically referred by the courts, who makes a lot of money doing this, and also ordered us to go to the Peace Program, which we had to pay out of our pocket $200 a visit at that time. We also had psychiatric evaluations. This was mounting to thousands and thousands of dollars, ended up being hundreds of thousands of dollars. Eventually, I learned to try to limit this legal money extortion by trying not to even contact the GAL. I had to spend my money on providing for my children. I filed a grievance against the guardian, and that was a big mistake. The grievance was just actually stamped denied, no explanation, no hearing, no contact, no nothing. I eventually ran out of money. I owed my attorney money, I owed the GAL money. The guardian filed a motion for contempt against me, refusing to work out a payment plan. While the guardian was pursuing this motion, my ex-husband almost died in a car accident. But the guardian continued billing. We went in front of Judge Bizzuto, who ordered me to pay the guardian within 2 weeks, or I would go to jail. The court threatened to put one parent in jail while the other parent was fighting for his life in a coma in order to pay the guardian. The message was clear. Judges protect their own. The attorneys should not be guardians. At that time, the guardian never saw the children or asked how they were, even though a month prior to this, she recommended that I shouldn't even have custody of them. My attorney told me, don't fight the bill. It's just going to cost you more if you do. The last time the guardian visited the children was over 3.5 years ago. The guardian alone decides what to investigate. In July 2013, the guardian charged me for reviewing her billing and emailed my attorney asking him to get me to stop asking about her bills. She didn't have all her bills, and she didn't file them in the court. She says she doesn't have to file. For the last custody agreement, I demanded that she be terminated. I learned if you don't do that, she's permanently in the case and can continue billing whenever she wants.
Ma'am, I have a question. I'm looking through your materials. Did you have to seek the court's intervention to get the guardian ad litem's file?
We never, yes, we had to file, she filed a protective order. We had her deposition, and she was refusing to provide her notes. She claimed attorney work product privilege, even though she was a guardian.
And the court didn't agree with that, right?
Well, we had to go to court. We argued. She filed protective orders, spent more money with attorneys going and arguing, and the court did not agree with that. And I have a copy of that memorandum of decision.
We have it. Yeah,
Okay.
I was surprised by that because it's my understanding that there is no privilege in my file. I mean, I put that in my initial letter to people. So, I mean, the only thing I will try to protect is if there are DCF records, I can't redisclose those because it's a violation of the law, but I was surprised by that.
No,
Thank
she
you.
was protecting her own notes. She didn't want to reveal her notes or anything of that sort. She wanted that all protected. And she also filed motions to produce. She wanted all copies of my, all my retirement funds. She wanted copies of the bills that I paid for my own attorneys. She wanted check registers, she wanted credit cards, she wanted everything.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Ms. Veronal?
Did she eventually charge you for the copies of the bills? Because I know that I know a GAL that did that too.
Yes.
And they charge you for their paralegal to make the copies.
Yes, and she charged me for calling my attorney because she didn't want to talk to me. She was calling him to tell him to get me to stop bothering her about the bills.
And you get charged for that?
Yes.
Yeah, very familiar. Thank you. I'm really sorry, but thank you for coming today.
Mr. Weissmuller?
When there was the objection and she appeared and argued the objection, did she charge you for that too?
I can't remember. I know I definitely got charged for her researching the privilege. I remember looking into that. I remember, the thing is with her billing, you don't know because she'll just say she appeared in court and doesn't explain what it was for court because we were going to court often then.
Would it help you if we had something like they have in some states where the guardian ad litem is limited to, a definite amount of time to do the work, and the order states what their rate is, that you're advised of what their rate is before they come on board, so you can be selective and actually choose someone else? Would that have helped you?
Absolutely.
And
she just had free reign to do whatever she wanted.
And just by way of example, it's very, very clear in my jurisdiction that I can only bill for those things that I am authorized to do. And for example, I could never be paid. I could do a whole bunch of things, but I'm not going to be able to be paid, and the judge would never pay me for things like trying to enforce my bill. If I have to prepare an affidavit of fees, it says right in my order I have to do that. I might bill 15 minutes if it takes me 15 minutes to put it all together. It's legitimate, been upheld. But trying to collect on my fee, I actually would have to comply with the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, which wouldn't allow me to put you in jail if you didn't pay me. I think it's a little bit more protective of the person who happens to have the debt, and that's been upheld out in my jurisdiction. Have you tried that here? I'm curious.
No, I have not tried that. But what was interesting was she knew the situation with my ex-husband being in a coma, almost dying, and the kids were distraught. And she was bringing me to court and pursuing her motion for contempt. And I was not getting paid. I'm a school teacher and was not getting paid in the summer. And she said, no, we're going to go forward. I want my money. And you can go to work. She said, go ahead, go to work.
I just wonder where that falls in. We've got usury laws, but if they can actually jail you for not paying, it seems like that's even more abusive than usury. But
well, the judge told me I have a pension and I can just take the money out of my pension. And I told Judge Bizzuto that's in lieu of Social Security. She said, you got 2 weeks and we're monitoring it.
To be clear, 2 weeks or there's a consequence. What's the consequence?
That I would be put in jail.
Interesting.
Ms. Veronal?
So basically, your father of your children, they're in a coma.
He's in a coma, yes.
At the time, is he still in a coma?
Oh, no.
No. But at the time, he was in a coma.
Yes.
And you were threatened with, you would be incarcerated
Yes.
if you don't pay that GAL bill.
Right.
Would it be helpful to have a GAL that's ethical and follows the ethical standards?
That would be wonderful, but I haven't met any yet.
I mean, I know there are some. There are some.
Probably
'Cause you
are.
can't generalize every single
I
one.
know, but
Because that's really not fair.
the ones that I've met, I haven't met any.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we have Marissa Ringel, followed by